Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Richa Sehra, Editor-in-Chief, ResponsibleHospitals.com, and this time I'm again with all of you. And today, the special session is going to talk about how is the birthing experience in pandemic situation. So as you all know that it's such a hard time for every woman, and it is quite hard for women who is an expecting mother, and they are very much into the situation that they cannot avoid going to the hospitals, they cannot avoid taking the medications, they cannot avoid meeting to the doctors in such a hard time. It is such a difficult situation for all those women, and this session is dedicated to all of them who are actually fighting it in a very nice manner. So my guest, who is Dr. Leena Sridhar, who is going to join us soon, I will add her, and this session is really going to be very helpful for those women who are expecting at this time of COVID-19. I'm sure with this session we are going to help each and every woman, and I would want everyone who is joining this session, please share it with your friends and family. If you know any expecting mother, they can also be part of this session because they are going to get more insights, they will get more information on how to keep themselves healthy and how to do a safe delivery. So this process is little tricky and very difficult, that too in this situation. So I would want to help all those people who are expecting. I want them to part of this session, and I'm sure with your question we can help every one of you. So people who have queries, I would want them to be a part of this session and can just start putting your questions in the comment box, because it will be really helpful for me to take up those questions and answer one by one. So I will start saying hi to every one of you. Hi Ria, hi Prithvi, hi Monica. So thank you for joining our session. Please share it with all of your friends. As soon as I get my guest to this session, it's gonna be very good thing if you can just try adding as many as people we can. So talking about responsible hospitals, first of all, guys, this is a platform wherein you can connect with a lot of doctors, people who are the real heroes in the industry of healthcare. So people who are looking for right information, right people to connect with. If you're looking for people who can give you right direction in terms of what's happening, outside and internally within the hospital, which you might not know. You when you get into the hospital, you would always see that the different picture. So I would want every one of you to see the real picture of the doctors who are actually putting a lot of efforts, and they are doing a lot for the society. So I would really want you guys to be a part of this, and here we go. I think Dr. Leena is with us. Dr. Leena, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Richa.
But I can't see you, Dr. Leena. I think the camera is facing on the other side.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So
Okay.
guys, since you guys,
Yeah.
hi. Good evening,
Yeah.
Dr.
Hi.
Leena. Hi, good to see you. So guys, though we have our special guest with us now, the expert and the very senior doctor, Dr. Leena Sridhar, who is going to talk about how is going to be the birthing experience in this time of pandemic where the COVID-19 is very much, creating a lot of myth. So I want all the women who are expecting, and they are quite near to their dates, just get in touch with us and just join this session. You might get a lot of more insights, and you will get more details about it. So I'm going to start my session here with my questions. People who have more questions can write in the comment box. I'll pick up those questions from there. Yeah. So welcome to you, Dr. Leena. I think this is going to be your first session on Instagram, and I hope you enjoy this, and our people and audience actually get a good benefit out of it.
Yes, Richa. It's an absolutely new experience for me, but definitely not a new experience in handling the kind of crisis that we are having right now. I would like to first of all say that none of us, at least in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, have been on lockdown mode. Right from the day we had a lockdown, we've been carrying on our work because, as you know, babies and high risk pregnancies, they don't wait for anything. So it was like while the rest of the world could stop by and decide how they're going to, come back to the what we call the near normal, we had a little less time. We had to get our act together. It was that we had to look after our patients. The patients who had their expected dates of deliveries in April, May, June, I think they were the ones who were majorly affected because there were a lot of changes in guidelines that we had to, change at very short notice. Having said that, I think uh, we have done a good job of it. We have managed to handle both those kind of patients who are affected as well as keep our patients who are booked with us safe from the virus and successfully deliver them.
Sure.
I personally deal with a lot of high risk pregnancy. So, those women really had a tough time because of the lockdown. But I think, in fact, I'm pretty sure that, they've all gone back pretty well satisfied. And the new normal is here to stay. So it's not going anywhere. And we've got to learn to adjust to the circumstances.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is such a difficult time, doctor, because I'm sure you would also be facing a lot of different kind of experiences these days, which you might have not experienced initially, because delivery was not that risky the way it could be now. So it's really too important to take a right decision, to choose a doctor, to choose a right hospital, and to have a safe delivery experience, because it's a one time experience, a lifetime, which every woman would want to face it in a nicer manner, right? So I would like to start with a question wherein I would want to know that how it's different conducting a delivery or giving a birth at these times, doctor.
Yes, it's difficult times, and as I said, we had very little time to get our act together. Um, you see, by and large, delivery is a celebration time. It's not just for the woman itself, but for the entire family. So we have a completely separate maternity unit, a complete separate floor. So it used to be always, having the moms and dads and grandmoms,
Doctor, I'm losing the network. If you can just change the little bit placement, probably that should work. I'm not able to hear you. Your voice is cracking. Dr. Lena, I think I'm losing you. Dr. Lena, I couldn't hear it properly at all. I think people were not able to hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, guys, I think there's a network error. I would like to try talking to her as soon as she is able to listen to me. Yes, Kavita, I understand because I can't hear her at all. Dr. Lena, my team, can somebody get in touch? Guys, I think I have lost her connection. I will try to add her again. My team, can you guys help connecting back to me by the time she joins back? I think she has sent me request once again. Let me add her up. Yes, Gautam, I'm trying to add her once again. She's with us. She'll join us soon. Dr. Leena, I couldn't hear you because I think I
Yep.
was losing connection and a lot of people are writing they can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah, better.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If you can just answer the question once again because the voice
Right.
was cracking.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Please.
as I was saying, delivery is a celebration, and you have a lot of people coming in, and the moms, the dads, the relatives coming in. So, we had to put a stop to that. We had to have only one attendant with the patient, not allowing too many people in the hospital. We had to curtail the celebrations, instead of having the usual cake cutting and having photography. So we had to just have one person with the patient. I think by and large, patients started accepting that this was being done for their own safety, and it was important to ensure that patients went home safely, and that was the priority. Yeah.
Sure. So, doctor, just tell more about the if you I tell more about the hospital. What kind of precautions they are taking because you are HOD there and you are on a very senior post. If you can just tell more about the hospital side aspects also.
Yeah, so our booked antenatal patients, we group them into low risk and high risk. We gave them the facility of video conferencing, so a lady could ask us when she actually imperatively had to come for a checkup. We restricted their antenatal checkups so that they could only come at the more important times, that is, say between 11 and 13 weeks of pregnancy and 18 to 20 weeks, and we made sure that all the tests were done on the same day that they came. Staggered appointments were given, sort of a half an hour gap, so that we did not have any overcrowding in our waiting lounges. Social distancing is anyway always being practiced. Mask and sanitizer was a must. If anybody arrived whose mask fell down or didn't have a mask, they were given a mask. And by and large, we made sure that the patients didn't have to come unnecessarily to the hospital. So it was always, brought in that, okay, if you had to come after 1 month, we would stagger it by maybe 6 weeks. The problems that some of the women faced were that there was nobody to bring them to the hospital. So again, we reassured them, and video conferencing is a big reassurance when you see the doctor in front of you, and the doctor says that no problem. Can you check your weight and tell me? And she tells you the weight. Tell you, are you feeling the fetal movements? She feels the fetal movements. So low risk pregnancies could be reassured that there's nothing wrong in coming a little later as long as you're getting your medicines. We have a system wherein our pharmacy can deliver medicines right to their doorstep. So
Wow.
those people who didn't have access to the pharmacies, they could just ring up the call center, place their order on the basis of a prescription which was sent to them on mail after their video conferencing, and they could get those medicines and carry on with the taking their multivitamins during pregnancy. So I think more or less most of the patients, they understood pretty well. Yes, there were some which are high risk pregnancies, and we had no alternative but to call them to the hospital. There again, those who could not make it for whatever reason, ambulance services were made available to them, and they would come. We also had patients who were coming from some special areas, and they wanted all investigations to be done on the very same day. And I think all the interconnecting departments, as you know, with the obstetrics, we have fetal medicine, we have radiology, we have laboratory. I think everybody rose to the occasion and made sure that the tests were done in one day, and the reports were, of course, sent to them on mail, after which they could, remain in touch with us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's superb. I think a lot of things you guys are already following and which are really important. And any person is actually looking for such things to choose a hospital and a doctor. Yes. So, My next question, following to this only, is how to be prepared to visit hospital for regular pregnancy checkups during the situation.
Okay. So what I would say is, like, as soon as a woman becomes or she finds out she's pregnant, it is very important that one visit should be made at the earliest, because we've got to date the pregnancy. We've got to find out that everything is fine. On that very same day, we give them some tests. By and large, none of these tests require her to be fasting. So it's very easy that she gives her blood and urine investigations on the same day, gets a dating ultrasound, and she starts herself on her medicines. The reports can, of course, be discussed, or on by going in for video conferencing, and wherein she can, in our hospital, what we do is we have a system where we can see the patient's reports. So if she gets it done in the same hospital, say in a day or two, she can again get back to us, and we can tell her whether everything is fine or not, and then call her after 1 month. Uh, by and large, the important milestones during a pregnancy are between 11 and 13 weeks, where we do something called a level 1 ultrasound. And we do a blood test, which helps us in knowing that, the baby that is developing doesn't have some major abnormality. And this is followed by another level 2 ultrasound, which is a targeted anomaly scan between 18 to 20 weeks. So we have a window period of about 2 weeks at that point of time. And an appointment is given so that people are not waiting unnecessarily, and there is a smooth flow of the services. Now, by and large, these two scans are the most important. The subsequent growth scans in a low risk pregnancy, yes, we can stagger the appointments, and we can make sure that the patients come as and when the situation. As you know, the last 3 months, the situation has been extremely fluid, and we had to select our patients visits and advise them accordingly, and make sure that none of the high risk cases or the high risk problems were neglected, whether to advise the patient that no, you must visit us, in which case, of course, she had to come and show us, so that we could give her the appropriate advice.
Sure. And what do you think? What do you suggest for women? Because you know that the situation is really difficult. Even we all know that we cannot deal with it. There are no vaccinations yet in the market. They have to cope up with it, and we have to live with it. Even while knowing all the facts, I mean, how can we just help them to avoid stress? Do not. I'm sure you must be suggesting a lot of mothers that don't take much stress. It's okay. So how can they calm themselves in this situation?
So we are going back to the old times when everyone used to say good thoughts are very important to keep yourself calm. And we had a couple of videos with us on yoga and pregnancy, and we shared it with our patients, and they were very happy because they could do that at home. A lot, many of them, I told them, just carry on with your housework. The low risk, keep your mind occupied as always. Don't keep thinking about what's going to happen, and most important, switch off your switch off social media, because negative thoughts and seeing the numbers in Delhi, numbers in Mumbai is enough to make anyone feel bad about it. So I said, just keep those thoughts away. Do not, just get on to doing your normal household work, and maybe, as I said, yoga, or if you've got a hobby, gardening, or tending to your plants, and of nothing else, watch good movies, which I think a lot, many people ended up doing. And there was a lot of things that people discovered, new hobbies. In fact, a couple of my patients said that we can't buy clothes for the newborn because it was so easy to buy it, and there was a time that even online you could not buy, and there was no delivery happening.
Yeah.
So I suggested to them that a newborn's needs are very few. You can cut out and make clothes. So I think new tailoring skills were discovered, and I think patients were pretty happy because they discovered that they could do so many things which otherwise they wouldn't have ever done. So it was very
That's
important to be calm with them, because this thing connects. If your doctor itself tells you that things are going to be fine, then I do think they do believe in us a lot more than they would probably believe what's happening on television or on the radio or on social media.
doctor is like another god. So they should rather. So I think I have understood. I think the way you're suggesting, actually, you're just telling that, keep yourself busy in good tasks so that your mind is free from stress and you are positive always. And it's always good to busy and find out some new hobbies. And that's a great idea, doctor. I just got to know that yes, if they were not getting clothes, they can actually tailor it and make it for themselves. So that's such a great idea. So another question is, what kind of precautions expecting mother needs to take if she is COVID positive?
Okay. First of all, don't panic. We had quite a few patients who found that they were COVID positive right very close to their due dates, and they got really worried. Fortunately, the virus is playing well with the pregnant women. Most of the patients are asymptomatic. That means they have no symptoms, and by and large, those patients who are asymptomatic do pretty well in delivery. They've not had any of the major complications, though they have been in isolation after the delivery. We have separate labor rooms for them, a separate sanitized area for them, and special care is taken regarding their diet and care post delivery. The babies are kept in isolation and the babies' testing is done. Fortunately, as you must have known about it or read somewhere, that vertical transmission, that is from mother to baby, is very, very rare. And this is what we have been seeing all along. And these women, we've been following up these cases. They've gone home. They have been in touch with us through video conferencing, and by and large, they've done well. And after the mandatory home, isolation for 14 days, which anyway, a post-delivery patient is hardly going out of the house, so it's not a big deal staying at home and tending to your baby. They have, been able to become COVID negative in due course of time. So by and large, we've had asymptomatic patients, so
Okay.
they've done pretty well. So what I would just send the message across is, you turn COVID positive, there's no need to panic, and there's no need for the entire family to wonder what's going to happen. We've got to take this thing, in days to come, and we've already had 3 months going for us, and there's going to be more ahead of us. We've got to take every case individually and treat it the way it has to be. Let me assure you that the obstetric outcomes are no different. If a woman is going to have a normal delivery and she's going for it, she will have a normal delivery regardless of her COVID status.
Sure. So, doctor, since I'm very curious to ask this question to you from you. I'm sure a lot of other people also. Since you are already there and you have been seeing so many patients, I'm sure you must be facing, or I would say, you must be meeting patients who are COVID positive also. How does it feel in you? How do you tackle that situation? What thoughts you actually get in, and how do you face such situation?
Yeah. Hello. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. So I was curious to ask you this question, that when you are into it
I
and it
can't
is
hear
so,
her.
can you hear
I
me
can hear
now?
the question. Why?
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, Richa, can you repeat that question again?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
sure. I was asking, can you hear me now so that I can repeat? Can you hear me? I think there's a network error. Guys, I think I would like to add her once again. Probably she's facing a network error. Just a second. Let me check. A few questions online, and now I'm going to start it one by one. So here, just after this question, I'm going to pick up these questions which people have checked it out in the chat. Wait a minute. Which home workouts can be done In which trimester? Okay, Monica will answer this question soon. Prithvi, what measures should attendant takes in hospital? All right. Guys, I'm going to answer these 3 questions ASAP as soon as I add her. Guys and viewers, I'm sure you might be feeling it's such a difficult situation for doctors also, isn't it? That they are actually, we are getting scared that, if you know somebody who is actually corona positive, you might not even try to meet them or go to that place or keep yourself away for so many days. But how can we actually, how many times we should actually thank these doctors who are doing such an amazing job, standing there always and helping those women or people who are corona positive, and they are doing a lot for the society, and they themselves are at the high risk, not anybody else really. So because they are inhaling the virus of so many people, and they are actually doing a amazing duty. So we should be thankful, and my gratitude towards all these doctors who are on their duty, and they are not taking themselves back from such a big responsibility. That too in this pandemic situation, because of the doctors we are still surviving and fighting up, and they are all so much involved to help these women who are delivering at this moment, and they are near to their delivery stage, and even new mothers. So we should be actually thankful to doctors. So guys, I would want to add her soon. Team, can you just help me, because I have not received a request from her yet. So guys, I'm sure you guys are getting a lot of inputs from Dr. Leena. She's a very senior doctor. She's a senior gynecologist and obstetrician in Manipal Hospital, Delhi. And I would recommend her to all of you. Whoever has a good friend who is expecting can actually get in touch with her. She's amazing, certainly very senior, and help you out with a safe delivery. All right, Ria. Yes, I can see her now. Wait, I'm going to add her now. Yes, doctor. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? We got.
That's okay.
This is natural.
This is natural.
This is natural.
That happens.
Yeah,
That's okay.
That's okay.
So,
So I got your question, and I was about to answer when we got
okay. Sure.
there, and that's just such a nice question, because I think anyone and everyone, every gynecologist would agree with me that the first case is always the one which sort of hits you. So I remember there's a patient I had admitted, and I was waiting for her test report, and it was at 10:30 in the night when my resident rang me up and said, "Ma'am, the patient is positive." Now this particular patient did not have a live issue. She was a very high risk pregnancy, and we had taken her through 9 months, lots of ups and downs, and finally the baby was to be born the very next day. I was got to do an elective cesarean section. So for a moment, I think it won't be correct of me to say that I was not afraid. Yes, I was simply afraid because this was the first time we were dealing with something which we hadn't dealt before in all my 29 years of practice. It was just the guidelines that we had reread. We had read about donning, doffing. Thankfully, we had been all cases which had been coming in emergency. We had been practicing our, donning and doffing of the personal protective equipment. So we had by now mastered the art, so to say. So now it was like a final, after all the prelims that had been going on, it was like a final exam. And yes, we had a sanitized corridor. The patient was brought down to the theater. Everybody was ready, which included my anesthesia team, my neonatologist, because you see it was a high risk pregnancy. And yes, it was tough. We had to formulate our own problems. Our glasses would get fogged by wearing the PP. You couldn't see too well. And I remember that was the first case, and well, everything went off absolutely fine. I can say that Richa, the patient, went back home, and I think that was, it was like waiting for that. After that, you got a huge amount of confidence, and this was in May, and ever since, I think there's been no looking back. We have managed to keep those cases. I mean, you see, it's not fair that when you have a patient for 9 months, she looks up to you, and you've got to do the best that you can. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
That's
Yes.
amazing,
That's
doctor. I
amazing,
think
doctor. I think
this
this
is
this
amazing.
is
I have been
amazing.
hearing
I
it
have
for the
been hearing
first
it for
time,
the first time,
and
and
my
my
experience
experience
talking to you.
talking
I
to
mean,
you.
it's such a
I mean,
great
it's such a
feeling that
great
I'm talking to
feeling
a
that I'm
person who
talking
has
to a
actually
person who
helped
has
the mother
actually
who was
helped the
actually
mother
in
who was
need.
actually in need.
So thank you so
So
much,
thank you
and
so
we
much,
really
and
need
we
doctors
really
like
need
you in the
doctors like you in
society.
the society.
So,
So,
now I'm going to pick
now
up
I'm
some
going to pick up
questions,
some
doctor,
questions, doctor,
which I've just
which I
received
just received
online.
online. Prithvi
Prithvi
has,
asks,
Prithvi has
what
asked,
measures
what
should
measures
attendants
should
take
attendants
in the
take in
hospital?
the hospital? Okay, I think that's a wonderful question, because uh, you know um, everyone thinks that, okay, I'm negative, so what's the problem of me being around? I mean, I should be around my patient. Let me tell you, the less the number of people, uh, uh, the better it is for you and your patient, your relative, your relative who's admitted. And what we do is, it's a very natural feeling that you want to be connected. Okay, I hope enough. Medicines. Is she getting the medicines on time? Are the nurses looking after? What is the current status? Well, we brought in this, facility of doing conferencing with the relatives. The hospital has a kind of a video conferencing facility, so the lady can speak to her relatives and tell her, okay, I'm fine, there's no need to come to the hospital. And this is very important to convey that there should be just one person, and just leave it. And even after the woman goes home, just ensure that uh, too many uh, too many, I would say, no relatives and no friends come, at least for during this period of time, because this is the time when infections are rampant, and we've got to protect, considering a woman who's just delivered, her immunity is, on the lower side. So it's very important to protect them, as well as the newborn baby.
Sure.
Sure.
So,
So,
Monica Kashyap is
Monica
asking,
Kashyap is asking,
which home
which
workouts can be
workouts
done
can
and
be
in
done
which
and in which
trimester?
trimester? Right. So generally the first trimester, unless you were already doing some particular exercise program, which you can always discuss with your doctor. Like if you were doing light yoga, I mean yoga exercises, the stretches, bends, and deep breathing, you can continue to do that as soon as you become pregnant. But by and large, a person who's never exercised, I would not advise them to start a new regime of exercise in the first trimester, just because you are in lockdown. So always consult your doctor. By and large, all the exercises, they start, as soon as you cross the first trimester into your second trimester. That is after the third month. Uh, Always again check with your doctor, and get the go ahead sign before you start. Yoga is, I think, one of the most wonderful ways of exercising, because it stretches, bends, and it's got everything for everyone. And in the lockdown, you don't need to walk around. You can do it with a simple mat at home. And there are so many do it yourself YouTube sessions where a person can do it. And we also give out certain videos where a patient can sit at home and do it. Having said that, I would say household work is one very neglected corner, where you can, and with no maids coming in, and with nuclear families, and if you're a low risk pregnancy, you got the go ahead from your doctor. You can go ahead by doing exercises at home, cleaning the house, swabbing. All those exercises is nothing that's not demeaning, and it's an excellent way of keeping yourself toned, and keeping your muscles
Absolutely.
toned. So
Sure.
you could go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for
So
women who
for
are
women
not
who are
doing any
not doing
household work,
any
they should
household work,
start
they should
now.
start now. Yes, yes.
So Gautam
So Gautam
is waiting for
is
his
waiting
answer.
for his answer.
What should be the
What should be
diet
the
for
diet for
gestational diabetes
gestational
at
diabetes
35
at
weeks?
35 weeks? Yeah, a diet for gestational diabetes and
He says,
he
what should
says
be the
what should
diet
be
of
the diet of
for gestational
for
diabetes
gestational
at
diabetes
35
at
weeks?
35 weeks. At 35 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So gestational diabetes is, as you know, it is um, diabetes which comes on during pregnancy, and it comes on for a lot of reasons. And the first thing that we do when we see is we put a woman on diet. And if she manages to keep her diabetes under control with diet, then it's fine. Otherwise, she'll have to be given medicines. Now, the first and foremost is to reduce the sugars or cut down completely. That's really not required. And Indian food, there's a lot of carbohydrate and sugar in the food. So the person should switch to protein food. Now it all depends on the kind of gestational diabetes that has come in. If it's just very mild, then a simple tweaking of the regular diet can help the lady. She really doesn't need to go and meet a dietitian. That is removing sweets, chocolates, pastries. Uh, you know, this is mango season, and everybody loves to have all the varieties of mangoes. So just cut down on that. The bananas, rice, potatoes, and you would probably find that your fastings are come down and your postprandial sugars have come down. Now, having said that, some women are they have put on a lot of weight during pregnancy, and the diabetes is gone pretty high. Well, those would need the services of a dietitian who can actually tailor make a diet according to their weight and according to their body requirements. And the diet would have to be adjusted. Very important that they should get themselves a glucometer, and they should check their sugars at home. And during this pandemic, it was very, very important. In fact, we had patients who were on that, who were well controlled, and would send us a daily record of their sugars. So it entirely depends on the level of diabetic control that you've managed to achieve.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sure. So
Sure.
Shikha
So
Anand
Shikha
is saying,
Anand is saying,
I've heard
I've
private
heard
hospitals
private
are not
hospitals are
delivering
not
if a
delivering
lady
if
is
a
COVID
lady is
positive.
COVID positive.
Such patients are
Such
directed
patients
to
are
public
directed to
hospitals
public
or
hospitals
are
or
charged
are
as
charged
bomb
as bomb
almost 3 times.
almost 3 times.
What do you have to say
What do you
about
have
it?
to say about it?
Tricky.
Well, Shika, I would not comment on that. I can assure you that where I am and I'm practicing, we haven't turned down a single lady just because she's tested COVID positive. And I can say that with absolute 100% assurance. We have a complete isolation set up separate so that whether she is COVID positive or COVID negative, she need not feel insecure. Even the patients who are negative need not feel that the same hospital has got COVID positive patients. It's not like that. They are completely separate. They are kept in a separate labor room, a separate operation theater, and a completely separate ward. So, as for the other hospitals, I really cannot comment. I can just let you know that we
Sure.
are taking them in.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
So
So,
I think my
I
voice
think
is
my
echoing.
voice is
Somebody
echoing.
has
Somebody
mentioned
has
it.
mentioned it.
Are you also
Are
facing
you
this
also
challenge,
facing
Dr.
this
Leena?
challenge, Dr. Leena? No, I can hear you pretty well now.
Is it?
Is it? Absolutely.
Okay. So, have
So,
you faced
have
any
you faced
such
any such
case
case
since you just mentioned
since
the
you just
COVID
mentioned the
positive?
COVID positive?
I just wanted to
I
ask you
just
that
wanted to ask you that
what do you
what do
especially
you
suggest for
especially
your
suggest for your
viewers,
viewers,
especially
especially
the would-be
the
mothers?
would-be mothers?
What are your
What are your
recommendations for them?
recommendations for them? Okay, for would-be mothers, I would say that the level of care or the level of protection that you have to take is what is being told to everyone. That is, limit your exposure to the outside. Do not go unnecessarily shopping. Try to do whatever you can online. I think that's what most women do now. Wear a mask if you have to get out. uh, uh, Use a hand sanitizer if you go out. If you are at home, frequently wash your hands. Refrain from contact from people and unnecessarily exposing yourself. Uh, uh, Stay at home. That's the bottom line. Only when you have to come for a checkup, you come. always ask your doctor whether you can postpone that particular appointment. Is it necessary? There's no requirement. There's so many normal complaints during pregnancy like backache and gastritis and feeling bloated and which can be discussed on a simple video conference. There is no requirement to make a physical visit to the hospital, which will involve you getting out of the house. So discuss it with your doctor, and I think that is most important to stay at home at all cost.
Sure.
Sure.
Uh,
Uh,
Doctor, I think viewers
Doctor,
are
I think viewers
writing
are
that
writing
my voice
that
is
my
echoing.
voice is echoing.
Can you just
Can you
resend me the
just
request
resend
once
the
again?
request once again?
Okay.
Probably you
Okay,
can just
I'll
end
have
it
to
and
close that. I'll have to close that again.
yeah, you just close
Yeah,
it
you
and
just close
resend
it
the
and
request once
resend the
again,
request
please.
once again, please.
Right.
Hello, guys, is it echoing now? Please respond. Team, can you hear me well now? Is it better? Cool. Thank you. I
Thank you.
think
I think
there is some issue.
there is
I
some
think I
issue. I
could
think
also
I
hear
could
my
also hear
voice.
my voice.
I don't know what's
I
the
don't know
issue,
what's the issue,
but we'll go ahead.
but we'll go ahead.
So, doctor,
So, doctor,
does this also
does this
affect
also
the
affect
fetus
the
of the womb?
fetus of the womb?
Yeah. Someone has sent no echo now, but they can't see me or something. Is that a problem?
Monica,
I think I'm.
doctor,
Monica,
can you see
doctor,
her?
can you see her?
Right. I think.
She can.
She can.
Okay. So, fortunately for us, what has been found is this: it's very rare that a fetus gets affected. That is, the baby gets affected. It's very rare. So, we call that vertical transmission in our medical words, and that is very rare. So, I think by and large, nobody needs to get panicky about that. Uh, Having said that, well, we really have to ensure that as soon as a baby is born of a COVID positive mother, we isolate the baby, and the baby is kept in a NICU separately, awaiting the baby's own test. So and that is important. And as I said, as of now, we haven't had any of the babies who were born who turned out to be positive. So that's again a wonderful sign. I mean, that's a good sign, and that is something which should give everyone a lot of confidence. In case somebody is or some relative of this turns out to be positive. Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
And in case somebody is COVID
Somebody is
positive
COVID positive
and the date
and
is
the
very
date
near,
is
the due
very
date
near,
is very
due
near,
date is very near,
then what
then
steps
what
they
steps
should take
they should
actually?
take actually?
I mean, what are the
Okay.
steps
What
they
are
have
the
to take?
steps?
The first thing I would say is don't panic. Don't panic at all. I mean, I think now over a period of time, people have got the message across that there is no need to panic. But initial days, there was a lot of panic. And it's very important to check out with your hospital the facilities that are there. Do they have the facilities for isolation? Do they have the facilities for a completely separate labor room, a theater? Because that's very important. And make arrangements at home so that you are in isolation. That is, you must have a room and a bathroom to yourself and not interact with anybody else in the family. Keep in touch with your gynecologist. That's very important because as you are near term is what we call your expected date of delivery. You could go into labor at any time, and you may or may not. The quarantine period may not, the isolation period may not be over, and you may not have turned negative. Like if we had some patients and we could wait for some more time, so we said, hold on. And sure enough, after about 5 to 6 days, the same patient turned negative. So that means she became less infective. So that would be then it's okay. Let the patient go into labor, and she can be treated as any other case. But if she does go into labor, so she should be in constant touch with a gynecologist so that right from the time she steps into the hospital, we are all ready to receive her. That is, our staff in the labor room knows is wearing PPEs, and our residents are wearing, and of course, we as consultants are also prepared. So there should be a very close, communication between the patient and the doctor, so that we are well prepared. And that's what is happening now. Now that there has come a good understanding about the virus and how to tackle it. So the first and firstmost thing I would say is don't panic. And the second thing I would say is be in touch with your gynecologist and absolutely 100% ensure that your hospital has all the facilities to help you out and to take good care of you and your baby.
Absolutely, sure.
Absolutely. Sure.
And I've also
And I've
heard
also heard
somebody said then the
somebody
mother
said that the
cannot feed
mother
the baby
cannot feed
if
the
she's
baby if
positive.
she's positive.
Okay, so that is again, there are many different opinions to that. But what is the current scenario is that initially the baby is kept in isolation. For example, we come to know the baby's COVID status. If the COVID status is negative, well, we counsel the mother and we inform her that this is the status. Most of the time they have some relative in the family who takes care of the baby, who is negative herself, and what can be done is breast milk can be extracted and it can be sent to wherever the baby is, whether the baby is in the nursery or is in the care of somebody else at home, and that can be sent. So we don't deny the mother, breastfeeding. However, it was not advisable that the mother should hold the baby in her arms, with close contact to the body. Now, having said that, with asymptomatic women, there are many who feel that no, we would like to take care of the baby. Then they should be appropriately, they are counseled and informed of the chances of infection. And then, if that is so, and they are ready to accept it, then they wear a mask. They wash their hands before feeding the baby, and after touching the baby can be roomed in, and all due precaution has to be taken. Most of the time what has happened so far is they've had people at home to look after, and they have taken over the baby's care till the time the mother has tested negative, and after which obviously then she can carry on breastfeeding the baby just as before.
Sure.
So again, we want to tell them that this is not forever, that you're not going to be breastfeeding your baby,
No.
you're not going to be handling your baby. It's not the end of the world. It's just a period of time that you've got to give time for the infection to die down. And then, of course, you are as good as any other mother.
Awesome. So I think
So
there
I
are
think
three
there
questions
are
around
three
the
questions around the
same question which you
same
have
question
answered
which you
that.
asked.
I have another
I have
question,
another question,
doctor.
doctor.
Let's say
Let's say
a mother who is a
a mother who is a
corona
corona
positive,
positive,
and if
and
the have you ever faced
have you
any
ever faced any
case wherein the
case wherein
baby
the
also got
baby
it?
also got it?
Okay, so we had one asymptomatic patient. She was twins, and believe it or not, both the twins turned out to be positive, the babies,
Okay.
and both were positive. And since both were positive, they could be roomed in with the mother, who was also positive. So
Okay.
what we found was that neither the mother had any of the ill effects, and she went home with the babies. And subsequently, the babies have been on follow up. They have absolutely shown no problems at all. They are doing pretty well. And that's what I said. This virus, how it behaves. I mean, this is like a situation which is changing, and it's like a learning curve for all of us. We are getting to see things that we have, and we are reading the guidelines of people who have already done these kind of things in the other countries just before us. But personally, these two were the only two babies which tested positive, and as I said, there has been absolutely no problem. They're growing well, they're doing well, they're feeding well, and by now the mother is also negative, and the babies are also negative, and so they're doing pretty fine now. So that was just one case, but most of the time, what we are seeing is the mothers are positive and the babies are negative. Thankfully.
Okay. But that there
But
was
that
no
there
case
was
as
no
such
case as
when
such
the baby
when
was
the
positive
baby
and the
was
mother was
positive and the mother
negative.
was negative.
Because there
No,
was
we have
just
not
There was
had that.
just
Yeah, we have not had that kind of a
Sure.
situation.
Cool,
No?
good enough.
Yeah.
I think
I think
I'm done with my
I'm done
questions
with my
and
questions
the
and
session
the
went
session
really pretty
went
well.
really pretty well.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much,
doctor. I think
doctor. I think
everybody's
everybody's
satisfied and they are
satisfied and
sending me
they are
thanks.
sending me thanks.
Sir, thank you so
Sir,
much for
thank you
being
so
with
much
us,
for being
and I
with
hope
us,
you
and I
also
hope you
enjoyed,
also
and
enjoyed, and
people also have
people
got a
also
lot of
have got a
benefits
lot of
and
benefits and
understanding more about
understanding more
birthing
about birthing
experience. So
experience.
we'll see you
So
again
we'll see you
soon.
again
Thank you so
soon.
much,
Thank you
doctor.
so much, doctor.
Bye bye. Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much for inviting me. Thank you. Bye bye.